Now, Mercedes-Benz have started to consolidate some of their range. They've actually removed the C-Class Coupe, the E-Class Coupe, but they've replaced it with something quite unique, and that's just come out and I've been able to get my hands on. That is the CLE. So here it is, guys, the Mercedes-Benz CLE, the brand new model in 2024 from Mercedes-Benz. Yeah, literally the first time I saw this car, I kind of actually thought it was like a CLA or CLS just at a first glance, until I actually realized, oh wait, this is the new model. You kind of got these kind of elements, especially on the back where it's like really, really curvy on the boot. So yeah, CLA, CLS elements in there, and of course it being a two-door C-Class Coupe and E-Class Coupe. Now, as traditional with most new models of Mercedes-Benz, kind of got these new star design, which I absolutely love, is on my car as well. And yes, there are loads of Mercedes-Benz logos on the front just to remind you what you're driving. And of course, I'm loving these blue lights kind of on the bottom as well, just kind of giving it that kind of very unique futuristic look. One question I know a lot of people are going to have is, if the C-Class Coupe and E-Class Coupe are kind of phasing out or have already gone, how big is this one? I'm glad you asked. Yes, so dimensions are, as ever, very, very important, especially when shopping for new cars, and especially when there's a new model out that no one's ever seen before. So let's have a look. Well, as it is here, just situated here, it actually doesn't look that big. But I think that's mainly because of all the curvy lines on the front and rear of the car, and especially what Mercedes often call character lines going down the side of the car. It gives it the illusion it's not that big, but it's actually closer to an E-Class. So dimensions of the CLE here, the length is 4,850 millimeters, width 2,041 millimeters, and height 1,422. Now, if you look at the C-Class Coupe and E-Class Coupe, I'll put them all up on screen here so you can see, there is actually quite a significant difference between, say, like the C-Class. It's a lot closer to an E-Class. Have a look at the width, pay close attention to these. It will be easier to get in and out of because it's not as wide. It's only a few millimeters though, but it does make a difference. Now, I have also heard there is a CLE Cabriolet or a convertible in the works at Mercedes. However, their website just says kind of coming soon. So it's kind of like a watch this space. Of course, if I get my hands on one, guys, I'll be sure to cover it. So we've established this is more E-Class Coupe size. What's the boot like? Well, initial glance, I'd say the boot looks like a C-Class Coupe in terms of its opening here. The actual boot capacity is huge. It goes up to 420 litres like this one here. Now, the C-Class Coupe was around about 380. It did vary depending on which engine you went for. But the E-Class Coupe was 425 litres. So this one is, technically speaking, 5 litres less, although I don't think you're going to notice that, especially just being 5 litres. That's literally like, well, like a couple of lemonade bottles, essentially. So I don't think you'll notice. So yeah, pretty much an E-Class Coupe boot. A couple of neat additions. There is a hook here if you want to hang shopping on, in case you've got like 1 or 2 bags. A little storage area here that's got first aid kit and high-vis vest there. And under the floor, which you can actually hook up on the top, there's a storage crate and then a tyre repair kit as well. Cool. Well, we've established that now. Let's have a look at these rear seats. And this bit I am curious about because is there any more legroom? Because C-Class Coupe was quite a small coupe in terms of, rear passenger legroom. So let's have a look at the legroom in this one. Now, one very quick thing to add just to the boot section. Just while I was filming and coming around here, I noticed that there wasn't a way to fold the rear seats down. Don't worry, you can. It's just done here. So you just have a feel on either side of the headrest, and there's a release switch where you can fold them down. And it's a 40-20-40 split as well, I should add. Let's have a look at the actual rear seats. So, of course, it is a 4-seater, so 2 in the back. In the middle, there's cup holders and like a little storage area just here. Now, I've set the seat up for my driving position, and, well, it is a coupe. So, of course, it's not going to have loads of room like compared to like SUVs or estates. Now, that's set up for my driving position, as I mentioned. And my hair is kind of just touching the roof. I could sit here, and I said that is my driving position. I could move it forward slightly, just in case I was sat behind myself. For reference, if you're new to my channel, I'm 6'2" and have very, very long legs. So if you're longer in the body, then obviously I would just try it out, see how you get on. But yeah, that's the back. So Let's have a look at the front, and that's where the design has completely changed. Right guys, here we go. This is the front of the CLE, and I've got to say, it looks stunning. So for those of you who have seen C-Class, EQE, EQS, it'll look very, very familiar. But yeah, absolutely stunning. And one thing I will add as well, to aid that kind of sportiness, I've tried to position my cameras in the back here so you can appreciate it. But basically this screen, rather than just, you know, sticking just a slab of screen in there and calling it a day, Mercedes actually angle it ever so slightly toward the driver. So if you were sat in the middle, which obviously you can't because there's just cup holders there, it's a four-seater, the screen would actually look a bit skew-if, and that's done on purpose. It's literally, so when you're sat here, it aligns up perfectly and you can clearly see everything. So yeah, they really, really do think about everything. But yeah, so let's have a look at this screen. So this screen is MBUX Generation 3 now. So this is MBUX NTG 8. You can tell, if you tap the home button, you can see that these very colourful icons are here. And yes, I will touch on this thing here, routines. Very cool things you can do on that one. But yes, let's have a look. So a lot of it's going to be very, very similar to NTG7, so MBUX NTG7. Now I have made a couple of walkthrough guides on that one, so if you guys want to check that out, do check out the videos on my channel. I've covered loads of topics on that, so I won't go through the full thing here. Now, one good thing is that, of course, I know there's a lot of topic that goes around with, you know, touch buttons and kind of things like that in cars and physical buttons. So Mercedes-Benz, I think, have got it just right because, yes, the climate control is, or are touch buttons. They're literally just on the button here. If I put the ignition on, we'll be able to see. So yeah, they've got the buttons just here, but they don't move. So no matter what you do, say I press home and I don't know, go on the phone menu, for example, the climate control, the back button, the home button, the previous track, the next track button, they all stay there. So no matter what you do, even if you turn the screen off, they're still there. So just a bit of muscle memory, I think that's pretty good. I know some cars you have to go into menus to change climate controls, which I don't agree with, but yeah, literally they're there, nice and easily accessible. Now, a word on this touch bar just along the bottom. So this one here is dynamic. This allows you to change the drive mode, and then you've got like parking cameras, vehicle settings, hazard switch, and there's also this one, which allows you to configure a fingerprint. So yes, if you wanted to, you could sign in with a PIN or your fingerprint. Now, honestly, I don't recommend it too much if it's just you driving, but if you do share your car, quite useful. Of course, then you've got volume and mute buttons just on the side there. Little thing in here, there are 2 cup holders in here and wireless charging and 2 USB-C ports and another 2 in there. So yeah, that's 6 USB-C ports in the car in total. I don't think there's anything else over here as well. Oh yeah, there's a 12-volt socket under there as well. So just like the C-Class, and not many people know this, there is a 12-volt socket just under there. And something I didn't actually realise when I reviewed the C-Class, but yeah, that is perfect for like a dash cam. I know that some cars, probably like this one, looks like it may have dash cam capability. I have covered a video on that, so do check out a video that I did very recently. Yeah, I'll link it up above if you want to check that one out on dash cam on Mercedes. But yeah, if you have a third-party one, that is very useful because you don't have any trailing cables down here. So they really do think about that as well. Right, let's have a look at some of these new features on this multimedia system. So yes, for a start, on this new multimedia system, I did mention there was a thing called routines. And I will say this is slightly advanced because you do have to think outside the box slightly. But you can kind of get the car to do things based on a certain scenario. So in here, you can go on routines, for example. Now, I will add, you do need to sign into a profile to use these. And I'll probably make a video on these, you know, a dedicated video on this in the future if you guys wanted me to. But kind of think about like this. Say like, I don't know, if it's 5 degrees or less, put your heated seat on. Or if it's 25 degrees or more, put your ventilated seat on, if you have them, of course. You can do some more advanced things like when I drive above 40 miles an hour, close the sunroof. Or a more advanced thing, if I go to the gym and the temperature is X, so I don't know, above 25 degrees, put the ventilated seat on, or at night time, turn down the ambient lighting, or in the day, choose a different one. So you can do all these sorts of things. The best way I found is if you go and create routine, choose the action. So you've got a choice of navigation, entertainment, comfort, vehicle, and then after that, you can choose the conditions. So I would kind of go on that one first, just so you can check out some of the things the car can do, and then you can look at the condition of when it's going to do it, and you can actually string quite a few along as well, so you can get it actually to be quite clever and quite advanced. Now, one extra thing I have noticed, so I won't run through the full entirety of this system just because I don't want to keep you guys on the video for too long. We've got other things to have a look at, like engines and what it's like to drive and that sort of thing. But there is also a thing called the Mercedes Me Store. Now, not to be confused with the Mercedes Me Store online, this is a dedicated inbuilt car one. So you can go in here and you can download some apps for the car, a Mercedes-Benz first. So this is only available on MBUX NTG8. And no, before anyone asks, this is not a software update as far as I'm aware. Just like other generations of MBUX, it is only found in the new cars. Hopefully it is a software update in the future, because that means it will appear in my car, because I've got NTG7, but no, I believe this is only going to be in new cars going forward. But yeah, literally in here, there's Angry Birds or TikTok or Zoom. Now, obviously, that's not going to be actual video calls on the screen, I don't think. Well, certainly not when you're driving anyway. But yeah, I mean, guys, let me know if you want me to cover that sort of thing. I'm sure I can reach out and get hold of a car and spend a bit more time with it and make some content on that. So yes, a few upgrades on the multimedia system. Now, if I direct your attention to the steering wheel. Now, over here, the steering wheel has touch-sensitive buttons. Handily, though, it does make a clicking sound when you swipe up and down, a bit like this. So you basically put your finger on an area here and you swipe up and down. And there's like different themes you can put over here on this screen. So there's like a sport theme, which will also make all the kind of menu elements over there red. And you can go to navigation, make the sat-nav full screen, which is quite nice. In fact, I think it is slightly different to my own car. I think it's even gone up here as well, which is quite nice. Slightly different on that one. And then there's the assistance menu, so that's useful if a car has like driving assistance package. That's like the radar, cruise control, and then service menus and that sort of thing. So yeah, pretty cool. A lot of it is familiar with the multimedia system, but there are a few tweaks on here having that new generation MBUX. And if you've never had a Mercedes before, did you know they also have a voice assistant, so you can talk to it. Hey Mercedes.
Yes.
Oh, she says yes now. Hang on, let me press the back button. Normally she goes, how can I help you? But yes, now I don't think this one's, well, it might be connected to the internet. We could ask it the weather. Hey Mercedes.
How can I help?
What's the weather today?
Today it will be cloudy and cool with a low of 1 and a high of 7 degrees Celsius.
There we go. That's the weather report. Or I'll press the back button before she does anything else. But yeah, you can give it commands to do things. So if you don't use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you could do like phoning people in your phone book, changing radio stations, changing ambient lighting, temperature. I'm sure that that voice assistant can probably do loads more than what I've just described there, being the new version. Right. Well, let's have a look at some other new things on the CLE. Now, one other thing I should add as well, although I don't run through specs too much on my channel, just because it can vary so much around the world and of course over time, do keep an eye out, especially if you're in the UK, on a slight change on specification packages. So traditionally with Mercedes-Benz, they have like Premium, Premium Plus, they kind of add gadgets to cars. There is a new one in the UK this time around called Premier. Premier, from the looks of it, just kind of gives you like this kind of black styling, which I think would look amazing on this car. But do just keep an eye out, there's an extra package in the UK this time. Right, I think the next thing now is to have a look at the engines available on the CLE and potentially what it's like to drive. So, engine availability for the UK, it's CLE 200, CLE 300 4MATIC, CLE 450 4MATIC, and a diesel version, CLE 220D. All the others are petrol. These are all 2-litre engines, except from the CLE 450 4MATIC, which is a very nice 3-litre. Oh, and when researching, I did notice as well in the brochure, it did state Integrated Starter Generator Generation 2. Now this refers to the mild hybrid system, which kind of a lot of cars do have these days, but I was curious to see what this was like out on the open road. So, speaking of, let's go check it out. Alright then guys, so first test drive impressions of the Mercedes-Benz CLE Coupe, for that matter, because I've heard there's rumours of the Cabriolet or the convertible coming soon. So yeah, as is customary with most Mercedes, start-stop button's just over here on the left, and the gear stick is over here, just behind the steering wheel. So they've had that for years. If you've never had it before, it's really, really easy. Literally foot on the brake, down for drive, and away you go. I must admit, this engine is very, very quiet. You can barely hear that it's on. Right, well, away we go. So yes, it'll be interesting to see what the mild hybrid system's like. I can imagine it'll be very, very similar to mine, but maybe it's just smoother. Maybe it just starts a bit quicker or something. Let's get over this horrible bump in the road. There we go. Well, first impressions, I've definitely got to say, it's definitely nice and solid, as with most new cars. But I've got to say, it's I think Mercedes have really hit the nail on the head there, because obviously just driving over the bump just here and just kind of very quickly, just first impressions, it definitely feels like it's slap bang in the middle of a C-Class Coupe and E-Class Coupe. So I think they have definitely achieved what they wanted to achieve and kind of consolidate the models, just like I said at the very start of the video, and combine the two into one. And with all this tech and gadgetry, I think they've done it. But yeah, literally just getting up to cruising speed here at 40. We'll get out on the dual carriageway in a minute, but yeah, super luxurious. Kind of makes me jealous that I want this one instead of my own car. I just have an A-Class, so that's nowhere near as fancy as this one. But yes, another thing, let's test out this mild hybrid thing, because it was, what I noticed, it said a new generation, so well, it's just cut out there. So believe it, excuse me, believe it or not, the engine's actually off right now. And accelerate. Well, that starts up a lot quicker actually. Yeah, definitely. Well, you do notice that starts, you get that surge of power a lot quicker. So guys, if you don't know what mild hybrid is, it basically helps turn the engine off. You know, like start-stop technology, where you come to a set of traffic lights, and then you come to a complete stop and then the engine goes off. This car in an eco mode, for example, or any car with mild hybrid, can turn the engine off as you slow down, because theoretically speaking, you don't need the engine idling or running while you're slowing down, you just need your brakes. So what this will do is actually turn the engine off to save fuel. So I'm driving here at the moment in eco, the engine's just gone off, and as soon as I go to accelerate, it comes back on. You get that power, and it's a lot quicker at starting up in this car. I mean, it's quick enough literally in like my car, because you get the electric motor help push you just for a tiny bit, and then literally the engine's on by that point and you barely even notice. But it is a little bit quicker in this one. Cool, it's good to know. Well, as I said, it's definitely slap bang in the middle of the C-Class Coupe and E-Class Coupe. You can definitely feel it on the road. We'll open it up here on the dual carriageway. Let's see what it's like. So I think for this, we've definitely got to try out the sport mode. See what this is like. Ooh, nice clear road. And away we go. Definitely sounds nice. That's a lot faster than my car. That's the problem with my car. It's only an A180, which is a 1.3 litre engine. It's only 136 horsepower. This one being a lot more. Yeah, nice. I mean, motorway speed's great. I don't really hear any wind noise at all. Obviously, you wouldn't hear that in a Mercedes anyway, but sometimes it's, depending on the car, sometimes SUVs are not as aerodynamic, especially like coupes. You can hear it a little bit more, but yeah, it's very, very quiet. I could easily do a long drive in this. In fact, I've actually got to do a long drive very, very soon, so I could love to take this car. I guess the only thing obviously to factor in is obviously that the doors are like a little bit wider, obviously being a two-door. So if you've never had a coupe before, obviously try it out, like park in a car park, see how you get on. They do open nice and wide though, so if no one's next to you, it's very easy to get in and out. But obviously just factor in that if someone is parked right close to you. Not anything wrong with this car, that's just how coupes are. Any coupe in the world will be a bit like that. Now, one very, very important thing, what I will add, is that some new cars are coming out with this kind of new tech. And I don't actually know what the official name is. I think it's called speed limit warning or something like that. Now, this car does have it, so if you do opt for a CLE, it is something to be aware of. Now, I will preface this by saying that no one should be speeding anyway, but it is a very useful tool out there. I just don't know how annoying it might be for some people if you've never had it before. So I could make a video on it in the future, but basically it's a speed limit warning. So if you go over the speed limit, it can beep at you and warn you. So it's obviously just something to be aware of. It's on by default on every journey for all CLEs, so obviously just something to be aware of. Try it out on a test drive, see how you get on, and let me know in the comments, you know, what your thoughts are on it. But I don't naturally speed anywhere. You know, I think when we were all younger, we always used to have nice fast cars if you were lucky to have one. So I'm starting to sound like an old man, but no, I'm not in a rush to get anywhere. And certainly when filming like this on the road, I need to focus on driving. So staying under the speed limit's usually in my favour. But one good thing is certainly in this car with that speed limit warning, you know, if you go over and it beeps at you, you can turn it off very, very quickly, and it is literally just the top right hand button. So literally just on the screen here, you can just tap that and it's off. There are a few settings you can change for it as well, but hey, I'm all about safer kind of tech in cars, and if it helps stop people kind of speeding on the road, then I'm all for it. Well, as I said a couple of times now, I think Mercedes-Benz have got this literally just right, you know, bang on in between the C-Class and the E-Class. So yeah, hats off to them. I think certainly with C-Class Coupe, they were a very, very kind of top seller. You know, they were very, very stylish, and this one, yes, bigger, but think about the positives. It's going to be more spacious on the inside for everyone, and you've got this gorgeous interior in here. It's I could spend all day in here. Well guys, let me know what you think in the comments section down below. I'm curious, would you consider, number one, would you consider a coupe for a start, and also would you consider the new CLE? Hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on the convertible, the cabriolet that Mercedes call when it comes out. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. As always, huge shout out to Sandown Mercedes, as they helped provide access to this car this morning. So yeah, huge shout out to them though. I think we're one of the first to get the CLE, so managed to get my hands on one and make this video for you guys. So check them out, huge shout out to them. But guys, thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I will see you next week.